Good day everyone and welcome to our presentation. I'm Galdones Marquis B and together with Dick Van Bawi and Chan Hao. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is all about cores of competitive market. There are many things about goods and services we purchase that we hardly give much to do. For instance, who decided one's goods to produce? How much influence that a consumer really have on the products firms decide to make? In this lesson, we will take something to learn about the goods and services that it becomes that's such a big part of our lives. Look at these questions and more will help us the concepts to understand the competitive market. What is competitive market? Competitive market is numerous producers that compete with one another in hopes to provide the goods and services we as a consumer want and need. In other words, not one single producer can dictate the market. Also like producers, not one consumer can dictate the market either. This concept is also true where price and quantity of goods are concerned. One producer and one consumer can decide the price of goods or decide the quantity that we will be produced. A great example of competitive market is farming. There are thousands of farmers and not one of them can influence the market or the price based on how much they grow. All the farmer can do is grow the crop and accept whatever the current prices for that product. They did not get to determine the price they want to sell the crop for. Here are the key takeaways. The first bullet is, in a competitive market, no single consumer or producer has the power to dictate the market. Second bullet, a perfectly competitive market is an ideal market where there are many well-informed buyers and sellers, no barriers to market entry and no possibility of a monopoly. Third bullet is, profit diminishing supply, rivalry, and exclusion are among the 10 characteristics of a competitive market. And now, we are on the characteristics of a competitive market. Number 1, focus on profit. Companies go into business for the opportunity to sell a product or service and make money. If a startup company determines the market is willing to pay for its product and there are many potential customers, they enter the competitive market. This action may lead to similar startups offering similar products to compete with the original seller and make a profit of their own. Number 2 is diminishing supply. A companies produce products and consumers purchase the product. Supply diminishes over time. This allows a company to increase prices due to less stock or as an incentive to increase production. For example, a business produces 200 large screen televisions and sets a competitive price of 800 pesos each. Each television sold means there's one less available for the next consumer. In this case, the company may raise the price of the popular TVs once the stock reaches a predetermined number. Third is consumer rivalry. A competitive market creates competition among consumers. This means that one consumer competes with another for a good or service, especially for diminished stock. For example, when it comes to purchasing tickets to a sporting event or music concerts, consumers often compete to buy the best seats. Number 4 is exclusion or inclusion. In a competitive market, both of the customers and the business can set the parameters for buying behavior. If a consumer is unavailable or unwilling to pay for a product, the business includes them from the purchasing their product. While this poses the risk of limiting access to a product or service, the limitation may increase the product's perceived value. Alternatively, consumers may reject products or services because of their cost or method of purchase. Next, number 5 is healthy margins and the ability to charge. Businesses make profits when the cost to make a good is less than the price it sells for. Competitive markets allow a business to strive for ideal margins by employing strategies such as outsourcing production or consolidating shipping and handling costs. For example, a family enjoying the day at the Burnham Park and encounters many different price points for items like souvenirs or food. Though the prices are much higher inside the park, the consumer ultimately decides whether or not they're willing to pay more for these items. 6. Informative for the customer. A competitive market ensures consumers have the information they need to decide on a purchase. The consumer knows the benefit of the product, understands the cost, and agrees to enter the purchase agreement with the seller. Since consumers make purchasing decisions based on the product satisfaction, function, or cost, businesses aim to provide those determining factors. For example, a consumer may visit the same coffee shop every day and pay 100 for a cup because according to their experience, the coffee is good and worth the cost. 7. Fewer time delays. Companies benefit when a consumer purchases a product and enjoys the advantage right away. Gratification may prompt the buyer to refer friends to the business or to share their experiences. For example, just like today, online shopping presents a delayed benefit as the product is on shipment rather than readily available. Companies factor this into efforts to reduce the time between purchase and reward. And they may shift the consumer's reason for making the purchase from the item being set at the lowest price to the fastest delivery method. Number 8. Reduced external influences. External influences may have positive and negative cost effects. This may relate to the practices of nearby companies or they may be in a response to consumer behavior or demand. For positive external influence, a pizza restaurant opens near the local movie theater and faces the theater sign so patrons can see which movies are playing while they eat. Hungry moviegoers stop in the pizza restaurant for dinner. The businesses may work together to offer coupons or discounts for cross-promotion. And for negative external influence, a recent study suggests movie theater popcorn butter isn't particularly healthy and it's best to limit consumption. The movie theater responds to this negative cost and turns into a positive by introducing healthier snack options and changing its vendors. Number 9. Protection of property rights. Property rights protect a company's assets and shield them from theft or damage. Boundaries become less defined when property rights aren't available. For example, a small business harvests carrots from the forest and sells them at the farmer's market. Since there are no property rights to the forest, and since the carrots are exchangeable, the harvesters doesn't face restriction on how many carrots they can eat. If a competitor enters the carrots harvesting market, they may establish their own right to a section of the forest. And last, elevated entrepreneurial opportunity. Competitive markets inspire entrepreneurs to take calculated risks and enter the market. They may launch a competitive product or service based on the market's conditions and acceptance of a new product. Entrepreneurs enter the market when it's assured the product meets certain conditions, such as the following: consumer pays the price set, company charges at point of consumption, company earns a revenue, and company makes a profit. Purpose of competitive market. The purpose of competitive market is to create ideal conditions where the buyer and the seller both benefit from the purchase of goods or services. In addition, competitive markets works to provide similar products. A competitive market gives consumers many options by offering similar products with different approaches to branding and marketing. Consumers can substitute one product for another with a price, typically influencing the consumer's decisions. For this reason, a business that changes a product price, even by a small amount, may experience a reduction in sales. And remove barriers to entry. In a competitive market, anyone can enter. If you have an idea for a product or innovation and your research proves the market is ready, there are no obstacles to entry. This also means a business can exit the market if the product doesn't make a profit. Here are the 4 basic types of market structures, including those that are competitive and non-competitive. First, perfect competition. Perfect competition involves many firms that don't have the ability to influence the industry due to their size. In theory, a perfectly competitive market provides an infinite number of buyers and sellers for goods and services. These competitive structures aims to provide many different producers and consumers. Ensure no single buyer or seller influences prices. Remove barriers to enter the market. And producers are price takers that serve the market supply and meet its demands. Monopoly market. A monopoly is a system that controls the supply or trade of a good. In a monopoly, a single business produces a product that has no substitutes, called price makers. Monopolies determine the price of a good or service, create barriers to enter the market, and continuously change prices to maintain profits. Next is monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition combines perfect combination and monopoly to create a system where many sellers offers products that serve the same purpose, but slightly different. In this system, businesses work to make consumers aware of the product differences that may influence their buying decisions. And lastly, oligopoly market. Oligopolies are systems where a small selection of producers offer a good or service. This means the competition is low since the difference in the products may be significant. Oligopolies maintain some control over pricing, evidence when a producer lowers a price and the others follow. Costs to enter this market are high, making barriers to enter significant and further reducing competition. That's our presentation. Thank you for watching and listening. Good day.